was great to work with you on Magnetic Island on Monday. So welcome to Wildlife Surround. You should be sitting at the Lantana station where you've got a table and you're watching this video. So somewhere near you within eyesight, and you probably would have walked past it on your way up, is where I am right now. So you're going to be looking for Lantana. So many people say that these flowers are pretty, but I see them as weeds. Alright, so we have some key identifying factors of Lantana. Now this here is a little shrub, which has probably been controlled before, but it's grown back. We have these, what some people call pretty flowers. It is quite artistic, I guess, but not when it overtakes our Australian landscape. So look for these, but not all Lantana has flowers at this time of year. If you look at the leaves, notice the little serrated leaf margins. So that's one other identifying factor. And it's hard to feel the leaf through the video, but as I'm feeling this, I can feel quite a few hairs. I'm not sure if you can see it in the video very well, but it is hairy on top and not so much underneath, but there are some hairs there as well, a lot smaller. And it's paler underneath, greener on top. This here is Jo. Jo was a placement student with me about 2 years ago, and she's recently done a conservation and land management course, and she's going to talk about the smell of Lantana leaves.
Hi everyone! So Lantana, very distinctive weed species. So basically if you rip a leaf off, and even if you rip it, crush it up in your hands and give it a good old whiff, it's got a very distinct smell. And you'll smell this when you're out in the Australian bush and stuff like that, because unfortunately Lantana is in a lot of areas, so it's very distinct smell. So once you know it, you're pretty much set for life.
So Jo and I have just taken this little stem that we've got from over where we were before, and we're going to look at the stem shape. Now, if you can see when I rotate that, it's actually a square shape and not round. So if you see behind us, we're going to have a look at some bigger stems. Let's go. So just here, we have a much bigger stem. It's still got that squarish shape, but it is a bit rounder. Like my new fashion, safety is the most important thing when you're doing work out in the field, because A, we only have one set of eyes, so look after them. And we're also going to be using herbicide. So it's just an extra precaution to ensure that the herbicide, if you accidentally splash it, our eyes are protected. Gloves for thorns, and the people who are going to be using the herbicide will have a set of gloves which are more made for chemicals. For anyone that doesn't feel comfortable using herbicide without a mask, feel free to put this on as well. And it will stop any of those fumes just wafting in. But also just be cautious, don't put it near your face, don't sniff it. Just keep it a good 30-40 centimetres away, just to be cautious. We have two sets of loppers, our mini secateurs, or our big guys. So obviously it depends on the size of the stem that you're cutting, which ones you're going to use. We don't have enough of the big ones for everyone, so just call out if you need a set of big loppers and someone will hopefully run them over to you. We've also got our herbicide here. So this here is glyphosate. Once we cut the stem, we're going to use this to paint it on. Obviously we don't want to be flicking this around on our clothes or anything. So give it a good squeeze out so there's no excess before you use it, and then it's not going to drip anywhere. Alright, safety glasses on, don't forget. I've just come across this Lantana. Now I've identified it from the smell of its leaves, its stem, its leaf shape, the hairs on the leaf. This one doesn't actually have any flowers, so I had to look a little bit closer because they're not quite bloomed yet. We've just got some little buds. But now that I've found it, I'm going to go right down. This one's growing right up against this rock here. And we're going to move all these leaves out of the way. So, a bit like the dingoes do when we take them for a walk, actually. And we're going to get right down to the base. Not too far, but we do want to cut it, maybe like a finger's length from the ground. And we're going to grab our secateurs and just chop it. So one thing we want to make sure is that our buddy with the herbicide has it ready to go, because once we chop it, we've got about 30 seconds to paint it. So if you're anything like me and you're clumsy and you trip over rocks or skin your knees when you're going skateboarding or something like that, you know how your skin creates a quick cover not long after you damage your skin? Trees do the same thing. So they're going to try and protect themselves from any type of poison or toxin or something so that they can regrow. So we want to cut and paint within 30 seconds, and that's how it's going to take that herbicide down to its root system and then not regrow again. Because we don't want to go to all this effort and then come back again. We actually want to control the lantana from the landscape so our natives can thrive. So we're cutting each of the little stems that have come up. Now if they're any bigger than this, you may want to use the bigger loppers. And we're going to paint it on every single stem that we've cut. Because if we leave one stem and don't do them all, there's a little guy down there, then that stem may regrow back. So we've controlled that. Well done. I'm back again. One last thing. Use some soap and wash your hands, please, because we don't want to be taking any herbicide into the waterway just in case we got some on us. So give your arms a nice big wash, and we also don't want to be ingesting anything without lunch. So thanks again.